Hello, my name is Miss Estrada. I will be teaching second grade science today. Our lesson topic, plants and animals helping each other survive. We will be covering Learning Standard 2LS 2-2. Develop a simple model that illustrates how plants and animals depend on each other to survive. The prior knowledge linked was students of first grade, Standard PLS 1-1. Observe familiar plants and animals and describe what they need to survive. Our opportunity for practice will be after we read the Magic School Bus book on planting seeds. The students will have a pollinating activity using cheetohs and paper flowers to represent what happens to the pollen when it gets attached to the bees and the wind blows it, or the bees carry it and they land on a new plant. The cheetohs will represent the pollen and the students will see the transfer over. My two portrait learners are student 1, Bella, is a second grader with specific learning disability, dyslexia. My name is Bella. I am 7 years old. I am not always the first student to raise my hand to give an answer, and I am one of the quieter kids in class. I still have a lot of friends and enjoy talking to my friends at lunch, recess, and gym class. I don't mind working independently, but it sometimes makes me nervous if it's reading time. I sometimes mix up letters in a word or see them differently from how they are. When my teacher hands me worksheets for bigger writing, I feel a little less nervous. Twice a week, I am taken out of class to go to my services. They give me extra practice in my reading and letters. Even though I mix up my letters, I really like math and don't have the problems as much. The best is when I get to use my math manipulatives. My desk is so pretty because of all the folders and notebooks are color coordinated and the subject is written on them in a designated color. Our second student is Jacob, a second grader with an other health impairment, ADHD. My name is Jacob. I am in second grade and sometimes the day feels too long for me and it's hard to concentrate. I do not try to distract my friends during class, but sometimes I can't help but wiggle or get up from my seat too many times to wash my hands or get water. It used to get everyone's attention, but now I moved my seat and can get up whenever, as long as I use quiet feet. I like sitting at my desk because it has my morning unpacking routine taped on my desk. This helps me remember what I need to do when I come in. By the time I finish everything on the checklist, it is already time for the first activity of the day. This takes away my urge to walk around. Places like my cubby and the classroom sink also have a checklist reminder too, so I can stay on task when in the classroom spots and avoid distractions. I also like my desk because I have a squishy worm that we call my desk pet that I'm allowed to play with during work time so that I can fidget around with it quietly. I love math and science, especially when we use manipulatives or do experiments. The two high leverage practices and the domain implementation is Domain 1C, setting instructional outcomes, and HLP 7, establish a consistent, organized, and respectful learning environment. The next one is Domain 1E, designing coherent instruction, accompanied with HLP 18, use strategies to promote active student engagement. For the sake of time in this video, I'm not going to read the whole book. This is the book that the students will go over. I will walk around the classroom. I will show them the cover and ask them what they notice. Some students may point out the school bus and I will ask them what it looks like to them, and it represents a bug. Throughout the book, the vocabulary words will be marked down and we will define them as a class, and I will put an emphasis on the bees because that is the animal we are going to focus on. At Jacob's desk is his checklist that is taped to his desk. It says the best way to start the day, and this is taped to his desk and has his name on it. It says, I hung up my coat in my cubby. It is laminated and he white erase marker checks everything, and at the end of the day he can erase it and restart for the next day. This is to help him remain on task. Posted on the board, visible for the students, is a general reminder for everybody. Our intent is to make this accessible for Jacob so it is closest to his seat, but to not bring individual attention to him. The class, everybody follows it in the class and it pertains to everybody. When the teacher reads, my eyes are facing forward. Check. My listening ears are on. Check. And I use a quiet hand to speak. Check. My good readers, we learned some important words today as we read our Magic School Bus book. Can anyone tell me an idea for the definition for seeds? Remember, quiet hands, please. Thank you. Yes, seeds. Yes, they are small. Okay, how else can we describe it besides small? You want to help our friend? Wonderful. There's small black dots. Okay, do we have a better word for dots? Dots is a close word, but I think we can find something better. Are we stuck? That's okay. I'm going to help you out with that last word. You guys did so well. We're going to say small, black. We're going to use the word pods. Small black pods. Okay, our next word from our book. Do we remember hearing this? Yes? Wonderful job. Pollen. What is pollen? What did we see in the book? Yes, it is yellow. Can we help our friend build on that idea? What else? We saw that it's yellow. Yes, it is. It is kind of like powder. We could call it powder or dust. A yellow powder or dust. I'm going to help you guys with this word because it's a very nice word I want you guys to keep in mind. We can use it in science a lot. Produced. So far we went yellow powder or dust produced by what? Do our bees produce this pollen? Our bees don't produce this pollen. Very nice, but then where does the pollen come from? Yes, a plant or flower produced by a plant, flower. And what happens to our pollen? What do we remember from the book? Quiet hands? I see a good quiet hand waiting patiently. Yes? Yes. The wind or what other friends? Or the bees carry it away. Let's do petal. Okay. Great, boys and girls. Now that we finished all our words, let's move on to our hands-on activity. I am so excited for this. Some students may have a bigger print of the worksheet. Okay, my scientists, we are going to get into our colored groups. Yes, Jacob and Bella. Yes, green group, you're gonna go with Miss J. Okay, do we have my red group's gonna go over there? Brown group, you wanna go over there? Okay, wonderful. Okay. So I have something fun for you guys. We're going to go over the instructions first before I hand you out your materials. And I'm going to pick one monitor who can hand everything out. We're going to have our pollen experiment. We are going to be the bees today. We're going to see how the pollen actually travels by using our hands and our worksheets and some paper flowers. Yes. Okay, so what you're going to start with is you're going to write your name, because when you guys hand this in, I want to know what scientist did which paper, okay? Because we all have the same paper, so we need our name on it, so I know which scientist did it. Okay, our first question, our first box says, what do the Cheetos represent? What do we think the Cheetos are going to represent? Do we have ideas? The Cheetos, yes, they're our favorite snack, but right now, during science, they're not a snack because we're not eating these Cheetos. I will have Cheetos for you guys at the end to celebrate, but we don't want to use these Cheetos as a snack. What are we going to use them for? Do we have ideas? Yes? Yes, the Cheetos are going to be our pollen. Okay, the Cheetos are going to be our pollen. Okay, and I'm going to do this first box with you. Do we have an idea how we could draw our pollen? You're going to write on this left side, and you're going to illustrate on the right side. Okay, best you can. Let's start. Yes, it is powdery. We don't want to, we can do stars. What else can we do? We had the word, before I showed you guys the word pods, what did we say? Yes, we said dots. So I think, because that's what it looked like to us in the book, you can use dots for pollen, and pods are for seeds, because pods open up and seeds open up. Our pollen is just dots floating through. Okay, and our hand, I'm going to explain this part with you guys. What is our hand going to represent? I'm going to give you a hint. They were working super hard helping us move that pollen around in our Magic School Bus book. We saw a lot of them. Yes, our hand is going to be bees. What sound does bees make? Buzz, buzz. Does anyone know what the texture of a bee is? Can we look really close? Yes, they look fuzzy, they look soft. Yeah, they do look a little scary, but I think let's focus on how fuzzy they look. That fuzz is important to hold on to that pollen, right? Okay, now what happens when I touch the flowers? This is going to be the conclusion of our experiment. We're going to see, okay? So you guys have, yes, Jacob and Bella's group, yes. You guys have it? You have this sheet? Okay, you guys have that, your chart paper? Okay, good. You guys have your worksheets? Everyone has their worksheets? Okay, wonderful. I'm going to give out. What you guys are going to do, you're going to open your Cheetos. And you see the plate in front of you? You're going to take 1 or 2, maybe 3 Cheetos if you're feeling bold. And we're just going to crush them a little. I know, we don't want to do this at home. I don't want our grown-ups calling me saying, Mrs. Strada, why are they crushing Cheetos everywhere? We're only doing it here. So we're crush the Cheetos. We're going to put our hands in it. And then on our flour, the flour you guys have, yes, our monitor is going to hand out paper flowers. Your paper flowers should look like Mrs. Strada's. I gave you a bunch of them. You're going to touch your flower. You're going to touch it. And then you're going to explain to me on your worksheets what happened, what you saw, what was the result. And then we're going to share it as a class. Very nice. Okay. You're going to work in your groups together. Make sure you talk. You ask each other questions, and we answer each other what? Respectfully. Yes, we are teammates, scientists, and we have to answer questions respectfully. We have to help our scientist friends out, because then that gets us all knowledge. We all want to leave here with some knowledge today. Good job. Okay, go ahead, start your experiments.